We hear a lot these days about AI and how it's changing everything, right? But it's not just tech. AI is actually revolutionizing tourism too.
It really is. And one of the most exciting things is seeing how data can actually unlock hidden potential in an industry like tourism.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what today's deep dive is all about. We're going to be looking at the work of this AI consultant, Elias Kalors.
Okay.
He did a deep dive into Tanzania's tourism data. And get this, in just 4 days, he was able to come up with 14 creative marketing ideas. Ideas that could actually boost Tanzania's tourism revenue.
Wow, 14 in just 4 days. That's pretty impressive, especially when you think about the depth of the analysis that must have been involved.
Yeah.
It really shows you how efficient these modern data science techniques are.
Okay, so let's break down his process a little bit. He starts with this raw data, and the first step, of course, is data cleaning. Oh, I know, not the most exciting part.
No, but it's super important. Think of it like you're laying the foundation for a house. You can't build on shaky ground, can you?
Right.
Data cleaning is all about making sure that the data is accurate and consistent, getting rid of errors that could actually really mess things up. We're talking about outliers, missing values, duplicate entries. You have to deal with all of that before you can even move on.
It makes sense. So once the data is all squeaky clean, what's next?
Well, then he moves into what we call univariate analysis. That's where he looks at each variable, each piece of information in isolation.
Kind of like getting to know each individual player before you put the whole team together.
Exactly. You want to see if there are any interesting patterns or trends that pop up just from looking at those individual data points.
So, like, what kind of patterns did he see?
Well, for example, he discovered that, and this was interesting to me, a surprising number of tourists who visit Tanzania are traveling solo.
Really? I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah. And that's really valuable insight because it suggests that you can target your marketing campaigns specifically to those people.
To those solo travelers.
Exactly. Maybe highlight experiences that emphasize, independence and adventure.
Oh, that makes sense.
He also looked at spending patterns, and he found that they were heavily skewed
Skewed.
to the right. Yeah. Which basically means that there are a few big spenders, high rollers, who are spending way more than the average tourist.
So, like the VIPs.
Exactly. And if you can figure out who they are and what they're looking for, well, that's huge for maximizing revenue.
Makes sense. So he's got all these individual insights from the univariate analysis.
Yeah.
But how does he, like, connect the dots? How does he see how all of those pieces of information relate to each other?
Well, that's where bivariate analysis comes in. And it's all about exploring the relationships between different variables. So, like, is there a relationship between where a tourist is coming from, their origin country and how much they spend?
Hmm.
Or, what about their age, the types of activities they're interested in?
So basically trying to figure out, like, who's coming from where, what are they doing, how much are they spending, how long are they staying? Is that right?
You got it. And he uses this really cool tool called a heat map,
A heat map.
which is basically a visual representation of all those correlations. It's a way to quickly see which factors are related to each other and which ones aren't.
Okay, so we've got data cleaning, univariate analysis, bivariate analysis. It seems like things are ramping up here. Like, we're about to get into some really intense stuff.
We are. This is where things get really interesting. He goes beyond these kind of basic techniques and starts to apply what we call advanced models, scientific analysis.
Okay, so this is where the AI really comes into play.
That's right. He uses these things called machine learning algorithms, things like, random forest, gradient boosting.
Ooh, those sound intense.
They are pretty sophisticated, but you don't really need to know all the technical details. What's important is each of these models is kind of like a specialized detective trained to find different types of patterns in the data.
Ah, so instead of manually sifting through all this data, these algorithms can pinpoint the factors that are most important for tourism spending.
Yeah, that's the power of AI. And it's important to note here that he doesn't just throw these algorithms at the data blindly. You have to be careful about something called overfitting.
Overfitting. What's that?
Well, it's when a model becomes really good at predicting the data it's trained on, but it fails to generalize to new data.
Oh, so it's kind of like a student who memorizes all the answers for a test, but then they can't actually apply the concepts to new problems.
Perfect analogy. And that's why validation is so important. He tests his models on a separate set of data to make sure they're actually learning something useful, something that can predict future tourism trends.
So it's not just about, being right about the past. It's about being able to predict the future.
Exactly.
Okay, so After all this, the number crunching, the AI magic, he finally gets to the really fun part, the creative marketing concepts. And you said he came up with 14.
14. And each one is tailored to a specific insight that he got from the data analysis. For example, he proposed this campaign called Child Friendly Tanzania, specifically designed to attract families with young children.
Which makes sense, because families are big spenders, right?
Exactly. And then there were a couple that really stood out to me. They were so unique and creative. One was called Alpha Animal Adventures, and the other was Wi-Fi in the Wild.
Those are some catchy names.
Yes.
Okay, what are they all about?
So Alpha Animal Adventures is all about capitalizing on business travelers. He realized that many of them are already going to Tanzania for conferences and things like that.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah, so why not offer them these like really amazing high-end safari experiences, something that fits into their limited time frame and that appeals to their sense of adventure.
Ah, so you're maximizing the potential of every visitor. Love that.
Exactly. And then Wi-Fi in the Wild is all about leveraging the power of social media.
Okay, how so?
Well, travelers these days, especially younger people, are always online sharing their experiences.
Right.
So what if, even in these remote safari locations, you had reliable Wi-Fi? Tanzania could tap into all that free marketing, people posting amazing wildlife photos and videos straight from the Serengeti, reaching a global audience instantly.
Wow, that's genius, turning a potential drawback like limited connectivity into a marketing asset.
Right, and it all comes from understanding traveler behavior and what motivates them. Providing Wi-Fi in the wild encourages people to engage, to create content, and ultimately it gives Tanzania's tourism marketing efforts a much wider reach.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Data cleaning, univariate and bivariate analysis, even touched on the more complex AI modeling. And we got a sneak peek at some of those really creative marketing concepts. But there's still so much more to explore.
There is. We've just scratched the surface. We still need to dig deeper into the data points and understand the full potential impact this could have on Tanzania's tourism industry.
Well, then let's keep diving.
One thing that really struck me about his analysis was how he didn't just focus on the obvious. He, really dug deep to find those unexpected trends.
Give me an example. What do you mean?
Okay, so he found that while Italian tourists were big on the beaches, right, they love the beaches, they weren't really engaging with all the other amazing stuff that Tanzania has to offer.
Yeah, this seems like a missed opportunity.
It is. So what he suggests is you got to craft these targeted campaigns, right, showcasing all the diverse things you can do in Tanzania beyond just the coastline.
Like what?
I'm talking about cultural tours, wildlife safaris, even culinary experiences,
Right.
things that would specifically appeal to Italian travelers.
It's like, hey, you love our beaches, great. But, there's so much more to see and do here.
Exactly. You tailor the message, you target it to their specific interests, and bam, you increase the chances of turning those casual beachgoers into more engaged, higher spending tourists.
So smart. What other, hidden gems did he find?
Well, he also looked at the length of stay, how long different nationalities were staying.
Okay.
And he found that tourists from countries like Mauritius and Oman, they tended to stay on the mainland for much longer periods than other visitors.
Interesting. I wonder why that is.
Right. It's a great question. Is it a cultural thing? Is it economic? Do they just get longer vacations? Who knows?
Yeah.
But understanding that could help you unlock even more marketing potential.
Yeah, like tailoring packages specifically for those longer stay tourists,
Yeah.
create itineraries that encourage them to explore less known regions or offer discounts for longer stays.
Exactly. That's what's so great about this data-driven marketing approach. You can move beyond those generic campaigns and really create personalized experiences that resonate with different groups of people.
It's like you have a treasure map, but instead of X marks the spot, its data reveals the untapped potential.
I love that. And it's not just about making more money, right? It's about finding new avenues for growth, for engagement, and making sure that tourism development is sustainable.
So we've talked about how he used this data to create these targeted campaigns, but what does it all mean for Tanzania? What's the bottom line?
Well, if they actually implement these strategies, it could lead to a big increase in tourism revenue, attract new types of tourists, promote things that are being underutilized, encourage people to stay longer. All of that could lead to a lot more spending.
And that's not even considering the ripple effect on other parts of the economy, right?
Absolutely. More tourism means more jobs, more investment, a stronger economy overall. Everybody wins.
This whole deep dive has been mind-blowing. I never thought data could be so exciting.
I know, right? It's not just crunching numbers. It's about storytelling, finding the narratives hidden in the data, and then using that to create something impactful.
So we've looked at the data, the analysis, these marketing gold nuggets that he's uncovered. But before we wrap up, I have one more question.
Yeah, what's that?
Do you think this approach, this data-driven approach, could it be applied to other sectors in Tanzania, not just tourism?
Oh, absolutely. These principles of data analysis, they're universal. It doesn't matter if you're looking at agriculture, healthcare, education. The ability to find insights in data is always valuable.
So it's not just about the data itself, it's about what you do with it.
Exactly. Data is just the raw material. It's the human ingenuity, the creativity, the strategic thinking that turns it into something really special. And that's exactly what Elias Kalures has done here with Tanzania's tourism data.
He's like a data whisperer, revealing the secrets hidden within the numbers.
Yeah, I like that. He's shown that with the right tools, the right mindset, a little bit of creativity, we can unlock the potential of data and use it to make things better.
It's like he's given us a blueprint for how to use data to make better decisions in any field.
Yeah, in a way he has. He's proven that this isn't just for big tech companies or statisticians. Data analysis is a tool that can help anyone improve their industry, solve problems, create a better future.
This has been an incredible journey. From raw data to like these amazing marketing ideas, we've seen how powerful data analysis can be.
And this is just the beginning. As AI and data science continue to grow and evolve, the possibilities are, honestly, endless.
Well, before we get too carried away talking about the future, let's take a minute to recap what we've learned here.
Okay, yeah. I think the first thing is the power of data cleaning. It might not be the funnest part, but it's the foundation. It's essential.
Yeah, it's like trying to build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation. It's just not going to work.
Exactly. And then once you've got that clean data, you need to understand the different ways you can analyze it. From those simple things like univariate analysis to the more complex stuff like random forest and gradient boosting, each method gives you a different perspective.
But it's important to remember that these are just tools, right? It's the human mind that connects the dots, that interprets the data, and figures out how to use it.
Right, and that brings us to another key point, creativity. Data analysis isn't just about cold, hard numbers. It's about using that data to come up with new ideas, to find innovative solutions, to create something truly amazing.
And Couleurs has shown us that data can actually be a source of inspiration, leading to marketing concepts that are not just effective, but also engaging and memorable.
Absolutely. And finally, I think it's important to remember that all of this applies to more than just tourism. It's a way of thinking, a mindset that you can apply to any industry, any challenge, any opportunity. It's about empowering ourselves, with knowledge, with the ability to actually make good decisions, decisions that can lead to a better future.
So what does this all mean for our listeners? What can they take away from all of this?
Well, it means data isn't just for experts and analysts anymore. It's something we can all understand, we can all learn from, and we can all use to, make a difference.
Whether you're running a business or working for a nonprofit or just trying to understand like what's going on in the world, data can be a powerful tool.
And the best part is that the tools and techniques for data analysis are becoming so much more accessible. There are free courses, there's software, all kinds of resources online. Anyone can become a data-driven decision maker.
So next time you're facing a challenge or you have to make a tough decision, don't just go with your gut.
Don't just do what everyone else is doing. Dive into the data, see what it tells you, find those hidden insights, and use that knowledge to do something amazing.
Maybe you'll even find your own 14 marketing gold nuggets just waiting to be discovered.
You might even find 15. The possibilities are truly endless.
Well, that's it for this deep dive into the world of data-driven marketing. We hope you enjoyed learning about the work of Elias Couleurs and the incredible power of data analysis.
And remember, the power to change your world, to make things better, it's right there at your fingertips. All you have to do is dive in.